Hi, and thanks for making the time to join me on this special webinar on developing your superpowers. I want to thank you for your support of my book and for you investing the most valuable of all of your commodities by being here, investing your time with me today. My name is Stephen Del Castillo, and I am a teacher. In fact, I have been blessed to be empowering lives through martial arts, through my Krav Maga martial arts dojo now for over 20 years. I started that school in October of 2000. And in that time, we have evolved and developed as a leadership academy that also happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world. And, you know, part of that honor, part of the privilege of running that school has been developing black belts, developing young people and all people into the black belt leader version of themselves. And over the years, that program has gotten better and better, and is as awesome as it's been to be able to do that in person for so many people. I'm really excited that through the book and through this this webinar series, this master series, I'm going to be able to maybe even help even more people develop what I now call the Black Belt Foundational Superpowers. So thanks, and with no further ado, we will get started. So why superpowers? Why do I call them superpowers? Well, the first part of the story is that I love to write. In fact, I've been writing a blog on leadership and black belt leadership traits and attributes now for a long time, and have actually done a lot of writing. And so when I sat down with my publisher to discuss the first draft of my book, which I called Meditations on Mastery, he told me that, quite frankly, he thought I had too much content for only one book. So I thought about that, and I decided to split the book into two different books based on my programs. And as I looked at my writings, I realized that some of my meditations were attributes and others were leadership lessons. So I decided to write my first book around the character development attributes that we develop in black belt leaders, and thus the superpowers were born. But you may ask yourself still, like, well, yeah, but still, why superpowers? Why is it? Why do you call them superpowers? Well, there we go. Okay, so why superpowers? Number one, because not everybody has them. Like the superpowers in, by the way, I've never read a comic book, but but of course, comic books have come to life on the movies, and I get to watch the Marvel stuff with my grandson these days. But one of the unique things about superpowers in superhero lore is that not everybody has them. They're rare. They're special. And I've found the same to be true of what I'm calling superpowers today. Superpowers also allow the superheroes to do superhuman feats. And, while my black belts certainly can do superhuman feats as far as feats of speed and power, and some can even fly, we're not talking about those super feats here. We're talking about the amazing things that people are able to accomplish because of the character development superpowers we're going to discuss in this seminar. And then probably most important of all is that, as is the case with superheroes, black belt superheroes are used for good. They're used for the benefit of others, not just for our own selfish desires or gains, but to serve others in the communities that we live and lead in. So let's go ahead and introduce these character attributes that I call the superpowers. The first is focus. And in fact, years before I had completely developed this idea and decided that they were all superpowers, I always called focus the superpower, because focus honestly is the superpower that causes all the rest to work. It's so important. I would say that focus and the ability to focus is probably the thing that most separates those that do from those that don't. those that are accomplishing incredible things in our world and succeeding in accomplishing their goals and making differences in other people's lives, and people that are instead sitting around worrying, blaming, complaining. It's all about focus. And in the book and throughout this series, and certainly in our program at Krav Maga Martial Arts, we develop focus. We develop mental focus. Focus is the ability to block out distractions and concentrate on what's important. How important is that in today's day and age? Wouldn't you agree that we live in a more distracted society than ever before? We have smartphones that keep us sometimes anything but, that keep us distracted, that keep us from focusing on our most important goals and roles. We have a media whose job it is to keep us distracted and divided. And we have just a myriad of demands and a busyness that's never existed before. So mental focus, of course, being an important part, but we teach the 4 laws of concentration. It's mental focus. It's focusing the eyes. It's focusing the ears, the skills of listening, and it's focusing the body. And in addition to all of these types of focus, it's focused as far as just the choice on what we focus on. And that seems like a small decision, but it's one of those small things that makes a big difference. And in all these ways, focus is a superpower. It's rare. Most people don't have it, and even people that haven't have it, and people that do have it have not necessarily developed it to its fullest and most powerful capability. And with a great focus, the most amazing things can be done. The second superpower is respect. And not everybody would understand and realize that respect is a superpower, but it is in more ways than one. And we're going to talk about over this series, just like we do in the dojo in our basic training program, that respect. There's 2 types of important respect that every student must develop, and the first is respect for oneself, respect for our minds and our bodies, respect of ourselves in the way that is often called self-esteem, but also respect in the way that we treat ourselves, the things that we say to ourselves, the things that we introduce into our bodies. And it is true that until we have self-respect, it can be very difficult to have respect for others. And so we teach students this, and then we teach them the way to actually demonstrate respect for others. We teach them the 7 words of respect, and we teach them the magical language of respect. And in these ways, not only is it a superpower, in the way that I often teach students that is a superpower is because when we give somebody respect, we get respect. But it's more than just that. I would say it's a superpower, especially for our youth today, because it's so rare, and that the student who has developed respect is head and shoulders above their peers, because the deficiency of it in others makes the respect that KMMA black belts show so much more meaningful to so many of us. The third is discipline. And discipline is another one of these superpowers that I just believe is essential. In fact, I believe that everybody has desires. Everybody wants to be more and accomplish more than they were before. We see at the beginning of every year, people making New Year's resolutions, speaking to the new and better version of themselves that they want to be. And I would say that the one thing that keeps most people from ever accomplishing their resolutions, their goals, their dreams, their desires is discipline. Discipline is the bridge that bridges the gap between desire and accomplishment. The fourth foundational superpower is confidence. Henry Ford said that Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And he was right. And the confidence that a candidate black belt exudes is noticeable. It's powerful. And and by the way, when we talk about confidence, we're not just talking about self-esteem, even though our program does develop one's self-esteem. But we're talking about a confidence well beyond that. We're talking about a confidence beget by competence, a confidence that comes from accomplishment. And what we do is you string together enough successes. And by the way, I keep saying for the young person, all of these things are as true for 72-year-old Phoenix McKinney, who just got her second degree black belt, as for my 6-year-old grandson, who is so proud that he just got his orange belt, and for everyone in between. Confidence is that special superpower that makes so many things possible, and that comes through trust. It comes through trust in our instructors and in the process, but it comes especially in trust of ourselves as we set goals and accomplish the goals, and we show ourselves that we can do difficult things and that we are worthy of accomplishing great things. Then we're able to string together more and more of these small victories until great ones happen, like the black belt, and like many more great successes thereafter. And then the fifth foundational superpower is gratitude. And I almost missed this one as I was writing the book. Truth is, I got to the next one. I got to vision, and I was writing the chapter on vision, because vision is about seeing in our mind something, somewhere, somebody we want to create and go and be before it's real. It's about creating the reality in our mind, and then all that's left is the physical manifestation of that mental reality. But I realized that without gratitude, vision is incomplete. Gratitude is, if vision is a kind of the fuel, then maybe gratitude is, I don't know about the car analogy, but gratitude and vision work together hand in hand. Because as we express gratitude for all the many blessings that each and all of us already has in our life, it gives us more power and more fuel for more vision. And as you know, in fact, quite frankly, all 6 of these foundational superpowers are interdependent. And I mean to say that each is important, but each is more powerful when all are developed, which is why this became the core of my KMA Foundations program, and now the book on developing these superpowers, because these are the foundations that are going to help the student become a black belt, and that are going to help the black belt become a leader and a champion at life. And while these are the 6 foundational superpowers, there is a 7th. I think that I put it here on this slide, but maybe it means to elude us. There it is. And I'm going to call it the gift. Because what I have come to believe is that each and all of us also has a special gift. And it's the special gift, or gifts, it could be the plural, but gift or gifts that specifically was given to us by God in order that we may successfully fulfill his vision and purpose for our life. I honestly believe that my ability to write, to talk, to teach, to lead, to empower, to make other people feel special and better about themselves, that all of these are gifts that God gave me specifically to do this mission, this purpose that I have, which is helping others develop their superpowers, discover their gifts, discover their purpose and their calling. So in chapter 7 of the book, uh, and in the rest of the education uh, towards becoming a KMA black belt leader, we not only continue to develop the 6 foundational superpowers, but as importantly, we help each individual discover and develop their own calling and gifts and purpose. So those are the 6 foundational superpowers. We've talked about the 7th, and for me, I alluded to the fact that everybody has that 7th. This is my vision and my mission. The superpowers empower the vision and the mission, because we prepare students to live. And when I use the term live, I mean to survive any situation. And any situation can be a self-defense situation. It can be an emotional challenge, financial challenge, a physical challenge. It can be dealing with COVID, whether it be the physical challenges of COVID, whether it be the economic or social challenges that come with COVID. Whatever the challenge is, we train students to pass the tests of life. And we teach them to thrive, which means we teach them to be successful in their academic pursuits, in their business pursuits, in their family pursuits, in fulfilling their roles and accomplishing their goals. And then we empower them to lead. For about a decade now, I have said that we are a leadership development academy that also happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world. And that has become more and more true through our own evolution. Because our vision is to raise up tomorrow's leaders today by providing the culture, training, environment, and opportunities so that youth, teens, and adults can grow into the leaders they're called to be in their families, in their communities, in their country, and in their world. And I, as I opened the call, am honored that you are on this master series with us. If you are, you are probably someone that has contributed to the book or ordered the book. You may be a student, or you may be hearing this for the first time, and we may be meeting for the first time. Whatever the case, I don't believe in coincidences, only in God incidences. And I'm happy, proud, and honored that you're here. And I look forward to being able to make you a part of our vision and our mission. Okay, so the WIN principle is one of the principles we teach at Krav Maga martial arts, and the WIN principle means what's important next. Well, the first is to register for the rest of this workshop. If you have liked what you've heard so far, then you'll be happy to know that I'm going to be going into depth and detail on each of the superpowers. Next week, we're going to be talking about focus, and then we're going to talk about respect and discipline and confidence, and then we're going to talk about gratitude and vision, each and all in further. And then in the final week of this master series, we're going to talk about how to discover and develop your own unique superpower and calling. So if you haven't already, please make sure you register for the rest of the workshop. If you have not already ordered the book, there's a pre-launch coming out soon on that, and you'll be able to do that. And you can find out more. If you're not already a student, you can go to tampacravmaga.com. You can find out more. You can follow more of my writing there because all my blogs are up there. If you prefer listening to stuff like we've done here today, we also have a weekly podcast series where I interview great leaders, and we unpack leadership lessons from those. And if you're interested for yourself or your child or your whole family, because we are a family-based leadership development academy, then you can actually register there for a 2-week free trial as well. And you know what's really cool? By the way, one of our leadership principles says, everything happens for a reason and it serves me well. And in the past, you would have had to live pretty close to my school in order to be able to come and take advantage of that. Most people won't travel more than 10, 15 miles to even for a great world-class program like ours. But the amazing thing is that in response to the pandemic, we created a live virtual dojo where all of our classes are simulcast. So therefore, even if you are coming from somewhere else, right now I have students coming from Texas and from Oklahoma, wherever you are, you can join us and you can uh, develop your leadership and develop your superpowers and develop your physical skills and grow into a MMA black belt with us. So you can do a 2-week free trial virtually as well as live. I hope that you will join us for our next Master Series seminar. And that'll be next week, where we will develop focus, the ability to block out distractions and concentrate on what's important. Thanks for taking the time, as always, and prepare to live and power to lead. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.